and welcome back. I've actually had a lot of people ask me, how is it that I got to China, and what are the steps, what are the process? So this is going to be your guys' video. I have a lot of like tips and tricks on this that I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to give you guys the basics so that way you guys don't get overwhelmed. If you guys are brand new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Okay, I'm going to keep it very simple. I went through a company here in the States, and I'm going to leave that in the description below. It is a little bit expensive, but the chances of you to get approved is very high. Their turnaround rate is like extremely good. They can't guarantee that you will get guaranteed to get a visa, but yeah, they have good chances. So why do you need a specific visa? A lot of people don't know here in the States that there's countries out there that you don't need just a passport, you need the passport and a visa. And there's a lot of countries out around the world that require the exact same thing coming into the States. They have to have a passport, and then they also have to go to the U.S. Embassy to get a special visa. So what does that mean? Getting a visa with some of these countries basically is guaranteeing that you're not just going to migrate there and stay there. They want to be sure that you have funds, make sure that you don't have a criminal background, make sure that you're going to be taken care of. So there's a lot of reasons why, and those are like the basics of why is it that they do it. Now, there is a couple things that's happening in Japan, unfortunately, where YouTubers, other content creators, and just visitors in general are just going out and acting dumb. And what's happening is there's going to be a lot of rules changing. Europe has already announced that starting next year, there's going to be a special visa that is going to be required. I don't know what countries in Europe yet. I think it's still being discussed within the EU, or maybe outside of the EU. I'm not sure, but it's been talked about and it's coming. When I went to Paris earlier this year, I was just able to get off the plane, show them my passport. They asked me what I was doing, stamped it, and on my way. That was it. And it was really easy. They're like, what are you here for? Oh, tourism, going to Disney, Eiffel Tower. Okay, bam, done. I was like, that's it? Okay, cool. Now with China, let's just say you don't get approved, but you already bought your flights, your hotels, and everything, because you have to show proof of that. They do have a 24-hour, 72-hour, and a 144-hour, which is a 6-day transit. So if you are going to China, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't have something like that. Make sure you check the website. What that typically means is if you get there without a visa, you have to show them proof of a hotel, proof of your flight leaving, and if you don't have a hotel, you have to have some kind of letter of somebody that's going to be sponsoring you while you're there. The very first time that I went, I didn't have a visa, and I showed them, here is my tour for the Great Wall of China, here is my hotels for the entire stay, and it was a 72-hour transit. You have to be out of the country before the 72 hours are up. Not getting to the airport, you have to be out of the country before that time frame is over. So what I did with the visa, I requested it for 10 years, which means I can go back the time frame is 60 days for each visit for 10 years. So an example is, let's just say I fly into Shanghai and I'm there for a week, and then I leave to Japan, and then I leave back home. I can come back to China still because I didn't stay there longer for 60 days. Let's just say I'm there for 59 days or even the full 60 days. I can still leave and then come back again. As long as my 10-year visa is not up, I'm okay. I just cannot stay there longer for 60 days per visit. So I could technically fly into anywhere in China, stay there for 2 weeks, fly out to India, the Philippines, Hong Kong, and then fly right back into Shanghai. That starts a new cycle. So that's how that works. Now, step number 2. This is something extremely important that you need. you have to have certain apps. Now, all these apps, again, get them before you fly in, because either your Apple Store or your Google Play Store will not work. Make sure you have a good VPN that's going to work. I would recommend the one in the description. If you guys have another one, I would recommend having 2 or 3 to test, because I've noticed some VPNs won't work. Now, when it comes to the other apps, WhatsApp is great to keep in touch with family. Email is also good, but it might be spotty. And the ones that you need for China, for me, I did use Google Maps and it worked just fine. There is one called WeChat. Now, WeChat is, you have to be invited. Let's just say I'm just walking around and I meet somebody and I'm just like, hey, how are you doing? They're just like, I don't understand. I say WeChat, and they'll know WeChat. They'll know exactly what that is. And if you add somebody on WeChat, you could type in whatever language you are, and they do is they would hold it to translate it. The other cool thing is, if they're talking into the mic and they send you a voice message, you could actually hold it and then it'll translate the voice to text in your language, which is great. And it's the same thing vice versa. You could do the exact same thing. Type in English, talk in English, and then they'll be able to translate it into their language, which is Mandarin, by the way. Mandarin or Cantonese. I think Mandarin is like the dominant language out there. Don't quote me on that. So you have to have an invite to have WeChat. Somebody has to have WeChat for you to get it. So let's just say you download it. For you to log in and have an account and everything, you have to know somebody. Keep that in mind. The other thing is, I did download an app called Didi, which is the same thing as Uber. That thing is a lifesaver. You put the address of where you're going. I had all my addresses already saved in, so I just copy pasted to wherever I had to go. And it is a lifesaver. I cannot tell you how many times I've used it. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go to, I was in Beijing, and I was actually going to go to, I was in old Beijing, and I was going to go over to more of the, like, I guess where more of the technology is at, the younger crowd. Like, it's more hip, I guess. It's not where Tiananmen Square is at. It's about like a 20-minute drive. And what's great is, if you're in a good hotel, they will help you, and they will actually order you a taxi. Remember, cash is king. If you got cash, they'll accept cash. Most of those taxi drivers don't speak English. So by using that Didi app, I was able to put wherever I wanted to go. I was able to talk to my hotel to order me one, and I just went from there. Now, when I did get to my location and to come back, because I'm not at my hotel and I'm somewhere else, that Didi app came in handy again. I just put the address in and then I'm right back. And yeah, that's like the bulk of it. There's another one called Sherpa, and that's a good one if you want to order food, kind of like Uber Eats, Instacart, or not Instacart, Postmates, Grubhub. Sherpa is really good, and they pretty much deliver food to your hotel or whatever place you're at. So make sure you get that one if that's your thing. For me, I'm kind of like, I don't mind getting the fast food stuff. Their fast food is so much healthier than here in the States. But yeah, that's what I highly recommend you use. It's really good. All these apps are highly recommended. When it comes to other sources of transportation, I used Rail Ninja. I also booked way in advance before I got there, and yeah, everything works really easy. Now, with Rail Ninja, what I recommend is, when you do book, make sure you have your schedule, your itinerary, and everything that you want to do. Book it and be patient. Sometimes they take as little as 24 hours to sometimes a couple weeks. I actually booked it out a month before I was going to go, and I didn't get my ticket until about almost a month. It was literally like within the same week I was flying out, they finally sent me a notification. I printed my stuff, and then I went on my way. So if you don't have access to a printer, take screenshots on your phone, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me know if there's anything else that I'm missing. These are like very beginner steps of what you should know before you go. And yeah, biggest thing is be courteous, be nice, learn a couple words. Ni hao, shusha. Ni hao is hello, shusha is thank you. Just basic stuff. And I'm telling you, like, learn like 5 or 6 words. There's so many videos on YouTube to learn a few words, and you should be good to go. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you guys do end up going to China, enjoy and safe travels. With all that being said, you guys take care of each other. See you guys in the next one.